What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are here at my friend's place, Apex Autocars, where they detail cars and sell recon cars. But we're not here to look at all these Porsches and whatnot. We're here to look at this Suzuki Swift ZZ32S. Alright, so this car is actually a monster sport demo car that came like this straight out of Japan. Alright, there are a few things that the owner has already changed since it's landed in Malaysia, but essentially this is how it came from Japan. Alright, so we're going to start off with the front as usual. Alright, so this car is called the MS Sport, which stands for Monster Sport right, if I'm not wrong. So in the front here we got a forged carbon front lip. Right, so this is exclusively put on only on the demo car. So Monster doesn't sell this right now, right? So this is a prototype, the forged carbon. So right now if you were to get one, you can only get it in either regular carbon fiber or FRP. Alright, so this is very rare and very special, the exposed forged carbon with the Monster logo in the middle. The front grille is Monster Sport as well. The top and bottom grille is also a Monster Sport piece. So it's a mesh type, alright, with a Monster logo over here. We have a carbon fiber Monster style vented front hood. So this is not original Monster Sport, so it's a Monster Sport style so it has been changed here in Malaysia. Alright, the tow hook is RRP. So RRP is a Suzuki tuner, R's racing parts, very popular as well for the Suzuki Swifts. So that's an RRP unit. The eyelids, Monster Sport as well. So you know, they just go over the stock headlamps Very cool. Over here we have Monster Sport wiper blades. Alright, so this is very popular with Hondas. Okay, because Spoon, Seeker, they all make these aero visor blades. So apparently it's supposed to keep the wiper flat while going at higher speeds. You know, because the air will compress onto here. So it's more aerodynamically pleasing, right? So I'm not too sure how well that thing works, but it's quite gimmicky and people love it. Alright, over here we got, over here we got a set of the best wheels, guys. TE37SL Saga. And I did not know this, but actually Vogue specially made these wheels to be fitted onto the Swift Sport. So these are Swift Sport specific specs, right? So 17-inch 8J in the front, 7.5J in the rear. The front offset is 42, if I'm not wrong. The rear is about 38, if I'm not wrong. I'll put the spec sheet in the description below Right, behind that we have a set of AP Racing Pro 5000R calipers, the 9440 series with a two-piece rotor, as well as what I can see are endless brake pads. Alright, the tires. Nowadays very popular the Advan 8009s. It's running a 225, 45, 17 up front, and the rear 215. If I'm not wrong, the rears are 215. So stagger 225 in the front, 215 in the rear Moving to the side, we have a Monster Sport decal as well as the OEM side skirts. Right, so the only part that isn't Monster Sport on this car as for now is the side skirt. The only aero part, right? But Monster Sport does make an aftermarket side skirt, but only in FRP. So you got to paint match it Alright. On top here we got a set of window visors. So these are Monster Sport as well. But this is very cool because you see there's a small cutout over here to channel air cross. So wind comes in here, exits here, and go all the way to the rear. So very cool. This reminds me of the Fields aero visor, the Fields aero visor for the Civic FD2 Type R. Alright, these are Monster Sport as well. So these are what we call the door cup protector, because this part gets scratched up the most, each time you put your hand inside. So these are there to protect it, Alright, this piece as well over here. This is not a Monster Sport piece. It's another Japanese company. So the regular Swift Sport, this part here is actually matte black. So it doesn't look so cool. You got the gloss B pillar, but here's matte black. Feels very weird. So they made a additional layover to make it match the rest of the pillars. Alright, here as well, standard from factory is actually black, matte black, but this is a Monster Sport piece in body color. So it makes it look different. It's more like a one-piece configuration because the OEM one is black here, so it looks like a split. Alright, moving to the rear. Standard your same T37 wheel But we got I don't know if you guys can see over here. Come, maybe we can try to show them a little bit. It's a bit dirty, but there's Monster Sport rear brake pads. Came like that from Japan as well. Alright, rear we have Monster Sport carbon fiber side pads. Alright, the diffuser is standard. So you can really see the contrast here. This is original carbon fiber. Alright, then you got the Fox carbon fiber here from factory. The rear tow hook is RRP as well, the same one as the front lah, so to match. Alright, so nice red tow hook over here. But I feel like the best part about this car, one of the best part about this car is the carbon fiber Monster Sport GT wing. So just want to show you guys a little bit of this wing up close. Like, look at this carbon fiber, right? So this is actually a one-piece construction that goes onto the stock rear tailgate. This piece is carbon fiber as well, but they painted it so black to carbon fiber. Look at the transition over here. We have to show them up close, you see. So carbon fiber, then it transitions to gloss black. Look at the workmanship, man. This is proper Japanese workmanship lah. This is super cool. Right, then around the car, around the back, we have a Monster Sport emblem lah. A lot of Monster Sport emblems on this car. On the spoiler, on the trunk, on the front lip, you know. It's there to tell you that this is really a special car lah. Alright, let's move on to the interior. Alright, so on the interior here we have your regular Swift Sport interior. You got the OEM semi-bucket seats with the red stitching as well as the mesh in the middle lah. So this is there, I think, to provide better cooling. Alright, nothing much. We have a Monster Sport gear knob. We have a Monster Sport pedals. Right, so it's got a dead pedal as well, so your clutch, brake and throttle pedal as well as the footrest lah, or some people will call it the dead pedal. Right, we have a Monster Sport gauge pot here with a Daffy aftermarket boost gauge. Alright, the head unit has been replaced to a Kenwood double din Android player. Very nice, but aside from that, nothing much. Also one more thing, yes, Monster Sport carpets, as well as your Monster Sport rear mirror cover lah, in carbon fiber over here. So this is for the people outside to see, not for you to see because it's facing outside. Alright, also maybe you can show them that thing over there, Marcus, that holder. Maybe we can just pull it up, show them that safety feature. Yeah, so this is to, in case of an accident, right, you can smash the glass, and also to cut the seatbelt over here. See, there's a blade here. So if you get stuck, you know, if the car gets into a rollover, you can use this and cut the seatbelt to free yourself or to smash the window. So this is very useful. I think this is the first car that I've seen that has this lah, but very JDM lah, very JDM thing. Also, I realized the previous owner in Japan actually put some sort of sound deadening or I don't know lah, what do you call this, a sealant around the door. All four doors has it, you know. So this is not OEM, right? This is not OEM, but I think it helps with the wind noise lah, because these cars tend to have quite a high level of wind noise. Alright, so that's it lah for the interior and the exterior. And also overall, a lot of very cool Monster Sport stuff. Next, we're gonna go check out the engine bay. The hood of this Suzuki Swift Sport is a 1.4 litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine lah, labelled the K14C. So standard it comes with about 140 horsepower and about 230 Newton meters of torque. But this car is not standard. First of all, look at this Monster Sport carbon fiber intake. I think this has got to be one of the largest intakes I've seen. I mean, you see these on V8s and, you know, V10s and whatnot, but on a 1.4 4-cylinder, this is huge. But also, it looks very functional. So over here, you have your air ramp, right? Which, you know, you get cold air that feeds through the front grille all the way direct to the intake. So this acts like a ramp air, and this thing actually really works for cooling as well as for that increase of power lah, right? But aside from that, you got all your small Monster Sport bits here and there, your battery tie holder, your intake pipe, your Monster Sport valve, sorry, not valve cover, your oil cap. So very cool, like, you know, overall, small accessories here and there, like, you know, which most of us like, right, when it comes to car tuning, especially, you know, accessorizing your car. This carbon fiber hood is very light as well. It's also got removable water trays. So when you go to the track, you can remove this, you know, so it vents all the hot air out of the hood. But you know, if you're daily driving it, you just keep it closed lah, so it doesn't wet the engine bay while it rains. You know, not that that's going to cause a huge problem, but it's better for the maintenance lah. Also, I forgot to mention this car has a HKS intercooler. Alright, HKS intercooler. So Monster Sport doesn't actually make an intercooler for the ZC33S, but they have a collaboration with HKS. So they are using the same intercooler lah. So the owner actually swapped it for a HKS intercooler, but it just doesn't say Monster Sport. It's HKS instead of Monster Sport, alright? So one more thing also I forgot to touch on is the suspension. So this car is running a set of 10 Flex Z coilovers, but it is a collab with Monster Sport. So the only difference is that instead of it being green, it's red. That's it. Alright. Essentially everything else is the same lah. Alright. So this car with Monster Sport intake, HKS intercooler, as well as a full Monster Sport exhaust, is making 165 wheel horsepower and 275 Newton meters of torque via a Monster Sport aftermarket ECU. Alright. Still stock turbo, by the way, still stock turbo. So just full bolt-ons except for the turbo. But that's coming very soon because the owner actually already has a Monster Sport turbo somewhere here lah. Not sure where, but he told me it's upstairs. So he's going to fit that in, then it should be a lot of fun. So after this, we're going to bring this car for a test drive, then we're going to talk a little bit more about it and see how it drives. You know, I'm quite excited lah because I've only driven a stock Swift Sport, so this should be good. Alright guys, so here we are driving this Monster Sport Suzuki Swift Sport ZC33S. Alright, the last time when I drove a Swift Sport, it was stock lah. My friend Ali's car, you know, so this one is very far from stock, right? Very, very far from stock. So this car, like I said, you know, the engine has been tuned via a Monster ECU from Japan. So it's making 165 wheel horsepower, but the torque is very, very impressive. 278 Newton meters, guys. That is about 300 on the engine, right? So 165 horsepower, wheel horsepower, and 278 Newton meters of torque from a 1.4 litre 4-cylinder with stock turbocharger. That's very, very impressive. Alright, so first impressions, the car is very comfortable. Tin suspension, you know, usually known for their comfort lah. So the Flex Zs are very comfortable. Right, the car is not loud at all. But you know, we're gonna test out a set of corners here. See how the car feels lah. You can instantly feel that this car has so much more power compared to stock. Here at toes nice, pedal spacing is good. First impressions, car feels nice. Swift as usual lah, good chassis, good handling. That's what they're known for. After 5,000, you really feel the surge. Okay, mid corner, we just maintain the throttle. As soon as we exit, floor it. Ooh. Oh, you really feel the difference in the tuned engine. Oh, nice. Nice, 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 nice. Pedal spacing with these monster covers also make it very nice for here and door. Nice. Okay. Hey, yes, I'm braking. Why is it telling me to brake? I think it's the safety feature. All these modern day cars, they got a lot of safety features. Okay, maybe we'll do a first gear pull here. I think they're shooting a Porsche commercial or something. So first gear at 40 lah, never mind. Later, second gear lah, because the roads here are not so good. Do second gear, 4,000, go to floor it. 6K, shift. little bit of torque still. Oh, the car feels good. That was more than legal speeds already. It actually feels fast. It feels fast. What a world of difference compared to the regular, the bone stock Swift Sport. Damn. The surge of power is actually pretty good. Okay, on this highway, so we're on Dash Highway, right? One of the most known highways in KL nowadays, and it's very notorious for it being bumpy. You actually tend to feel the bumpiness of the car already. And you see, there. That's where you can feel the bumpiness. Okay. Oh. So, but it's pretty comfortable still because this car's got stock Swift Sport seats. They are semi-buckets. They're semi-buckets, OEM semi-bucket seats, and they feel pretty good. Let's drop to 4th. The only thing that I had to complain about the regular Swift Sport is when you rev it up top, right? It feels like the power's gone, so it just hits a wall and it just drops all the way, right? Because it is, after all, still a small engine. But this car pulls well even all the way up top. Some long sweepers. Oh, the handling is good. Handling is good. The owner actually took this car to Chiang Mai in Mae Hong Son for the 1,000 corners in Thailand. So must be so fun driving this car there. Short wheelbase, just a good amount of power. I think you can keep up with bigger cars, no problem. No problem. The only thing that I would change if it was my car, full bucket. Then you can drive it even harder. But it's so quiet in the car, you don't hear anything. You only hear a little bit of wind noise here and there, no intake. The intake sound is barely noticeable. It's still running the stock diverter valve, if I'm not wrong. I think this car might have a short shifter because it shifts a lot better, a lot sharper compared to the stock one that I drove. Nice. So 110 km per hour, we're looking at about 3000 RPM, 6 gear. Not too bad actually. So the owner, Khalis, he's going to be upgrading the turbo on this car. He already has a Monster Sport turbo in his shop actually. Alright, so he's going to put that in, I don't know when, maybe the next couple of months. And also this car is running a Monster Sport ECU from the factory, alright, so already tuned from the factory to make 165 horsepower. But one interesting fact about this particular ECU is that it does not allow for override. So you cannot back-end flash it, you cannot tune it yourself, and you cannot hack it. It is probably to protect the car, to protect the engine, because if you do it, without having, if you don't have the experience and you want to remap the ECU, things will go wrong, alright? You might blow the engine, and it's going to cost a lot of money, you might end up blaming the company. So they just did it to protect themselves, I'm sure. And one very interesting fact about this particular ECU is that it acts much like an OEM ECU, where it has its self-adapting feature and self-learning feature, right? So it would automatically remap the car or recalibrate the car once you add any additional mods to it, which is very cool. So it does that up to 200 horsepower. Alright, so after the Monster Turbo has been fitted, it will auto recalibrate. It will automatically know that, okay, we have an aftermarket ECU, we have an aftermarket turbo now. Time to play with the parameters and make full use of that new turbo. So what the owner told me is that the new Monster Sport turbo will make about 200 horsepower lah. So that is about close to 40 horsepower extra, and I think the torque, not too sure lah, maybe another 30-40 Nm, which is going to make it a 300 Newton meter car and 200 horsepower car, which is going to be fast because this car is only 970 kilos, guys. 970 kilos, under a ton for a car that came out in 2018. That's almost unheard for. It's a 4-door also. Okay, what more can you ask for? I mean, prices of these cars are very attractive nowadays. 120,000, 115,000 for bone stock unit, manual, of course. They're getting super popular lah, the Swift Sports. They're getting super popular nowadays. I like it. I like it. I've always been a Swift guy lah. You know, I like Hondas, but I've always been a Swift guy also. A Swift in particular. I'm not really a Suzuki guy, but a Swift guy, a Swift Sport guy. Right. So we're just gonna drive it for a bit, and we'll bring the car back lah. Do a first gear. Okay guys, so we're just gonna do a first gear pull lah. We're not gonna launch it. We're just gonna do a first gear and roll into it and see how fast does it get to 100. You guys count how many seconds that was. Okay. Nice. That was pretty fast. That was not bad, not bad. So I'm not sure how many seconds that was, but I think it felt like 6 seconds, something like that, probably. Feels like it. And I think this, not sure about this Monster ECU lah, but from what I'm told, right, from what I've been told, the stock Swift Sport actually has a boost limitation function. So like it's like a boost by gear lah. So the first gear limits boost, I think to reduce wheel spin and whatnot lah. Then it only gives you full boost from second gear onwards. So the first gear, that's why the first gear feels a bit slower. Like this particular car feels a bit like that as well, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong. But the previous Swift I drove, the owner told me that was the case lah. Right. Also forgot to mention this car is running on a set of, I mean, I did mention just now lah, but this car is running on a set of AP Racing calipers. Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, this car is running on a set of AP Racing AP Racing 4-piston front calipers. Alright, the 9440 lah, the Pro 5000Rs, which everyone loves. You know, very affordable kit lah. To be honest, looking at about 8,000 to 9,000 ringgit, you get a very good setup. And this car, surprisingly, the brake modulation is actually pretty good, because on one of our friends' car, actually, he has the same brakes, the same setup on his Civic FC lah, and that one is a bit hard to modulate. It's a bit too grabby. Alright, so I'm not sure if the master cylinder has been changed, but I doubt so lah. Feels good actually. It feels very nice, you know, not hard to modulate, and of course lah, these calipers are too much for most cars lah. I mean, for most cars of this weight, but you know, given that it is a turbo engine with almost 200 horsepower, the brakes are necessary lah, and it feels good. Right, we got a Defi boost gauge here with a Monster gauge port. This is very cool, very ergonomic, because you have a boost meter in the middle as well, but it doesn't show you the volume, it doesn't show you the vitals, it just shows you like a gauge. It doesn't tell you the exact measurement. So this one is good to have lah, Defi, you know. Like just now when we were doing the pull, it was doing about constant 1.2 bar of boost. Not a lot actually, not a lot for a small engine to get this kind of power lah. So Suzuki did a very good job lah with this 1.4cc. I think they really managed to widen the gap between them and their competitors, because the Honda Fit, Honda Jazz is still NA. The Toyota Yaris is non-GR, the normal Yaris is just econo box lah. Nothing much comes close to this in this price range and this segment. When it comes to Japanese lah, right? We don't have the Polo GTI anymore in Malaysia. The Fiesta ST, we don't have that anymore. Yeah, so I think if you want a small car, a compact car, a hatchback, with this amount of kit and this amount of power, the Swift Sport is where it's at lah. But please get the manual. Please get the manual. Although the automatic is not bad. I've driven an automatic before. It's a 6-speed torque converter, you know. But the manual is where it's at lah. At least they didn't put a CVT, because most modern day automatic cars now are all CVT. Right, so I think the CVT would really how to say, I wouldn't say spoil the experience lah, but just it doesn't make it drive as well as a torque converter lah, right? I wanted to test out corners over here, but we got some traffic, so yeah. But I think overall it's been a good drive lah. It's been a good drive. Like in the previous video I said, actually I enjoyed driving the Fit RS a little bit more, stock to stock, just because it feels more responsive. I don't know, somehow or other the throttle feels more responsive and it revs higher, slightly higher, about 5 to 600 RPM higher. But this one is a whole different animal, this car. Can't imagine with 200 horsepower how would it feel. Definitely needs an LSD already, definitely needs an LSD. Which is coming soon in the future, because even just now when you floor it out of corners, right, you do feel the car pulling a little bit. But nothing too crazy lah. Nice. Swift Sport. 120,000 ringgit car, give or take. Mods are not cheap though. This car, mods are not cheap. But you do get your money's worth lah, because it is a turbo car after all, and tuning it, you will benefit from good power gains lah, good power gains. So standard they come in about 140 horsepower and 230-ish Newton meters of torque to the engine, right? So just do a downpipe exhaust, intercooler, you should get good power lah. So yeah lah, like this car, it's tuned from the factory by Monster. It's got a Monster exhaust as well as a HKS intercooler, 160 horsepower, 165 horsepower to the wheels, which is equivalent to about 180 plus engine horsepower, which is about 40 horsepower more from a 1.4 litre car. Very good, very good. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for this test drive of this Monster Sport Suzuki Swift lah. Really enjoyed driving this car actually. It's a very fun car, very nice package, good handling, more than decent power, and it looks very cool lah. Right, so before we end this video, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Carlis from Apex Absolute. So what do? So Apex, they sell recon cars, okay, so they can specially import your car for you from Japan. If you're looking for a car, you guys can hit them up. They will import, like this GT86, they do detailing on the side as well. They have PPF, so they do your usual stuff like your detailing, your polishing, your coating, interior cleaning, as well as PPF, and they have a very, very cool facility. Look at this. I've never actually seen a triple stacker like this in person before. They got a 993 turbo up there. They have a CL63 AMG as well as a Club Sport Mark 7 GTI lah. Over here we got a Lotus Esprit, super rare car, on OZ Futuras AD08s, as well as a Evo 9 over here. So this belongs to one of the partners here. Is running about 500 over horsepower, and I think we're going to review this one day because Carlis already gave us the green light. So he said that we can review this next. Right, behind us we have two 911 Cup cars, a 991 and a 997. Look how cool is this. You got a Swift here, you got some Porsche GT cars, a Lotus. So very, very good place, and I love this light box setup. It's so cool. Also up there they have a customer launch, a loft. It's nice like, this is really a enthusiast place, a car guy place, alright. So if you guys, you guys want to look for cars, but they mainly do enthusiast cars like, GT86, GR Yaris, Type Rs, Swift Sports. You can just hit them up lah. I'll leave a link in the description below, their Facebook, Instagram. So you guys can just hit them up, come talk to them. Nice guys here, then maybe you're on your way to your new dream car lah, So as usual, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.